Sex and the City made me laugh. It made me cry. It made me horny. It made me expect too much emotionally from boys whose frontal lobes were not yet developed, but it also made me parse out my feelings about said boys in writing or with my friends.
This show has been a part of my life since I was 14 to 15. It's pushed me to be bigger and bolder, but most importantly, it pushed me to be more of myself, and this woman will be forever grateful for that.
Oh, that was amazing! Everybody, welcome back to And Just Like Yap. You may be able to hear the Chicago Air and Water Show warming up throughout this, and I apologize. As Caroline knows, it is the most cursed weekend for noise pollution in Chicago.
You might hear some British people yelling outside my window.
Correct.
I'm in the land of Dunkin'.
Yes, Caroline is in the land of Dunkin' Donuts as we speak. We are here to recap the season 3 finale and also coincidentally the series finale of And Just Like That. Allegedly. Also, before we get into the episode, we wanted to say that just because And Just Like That is ending doesn't mean that we are going anywhere. We will still be doing recaps. No. So if you'd like to join us for future recaps, we will be doing next on Amazon Prime Video, The Girlfriend, based on this book that we just received in the mail that I'm going to start reading and then send to Caroline. And then after that, we will be doing the next USA season of Love is Blind.
I just realized it's like we're recording from our own pods.
Yeah, it is. So please follow us for those. And also, we will be doing some intermittent original series Sex and the City recaps with some of our friends as guests. Let's get in. This episode was called Party of One. It starts with Carrie at a Chinese restaurant that she has never been to. She walked by and was like, this looks cool and cute, and she decided to go in. Carrie does not know how to order anything. Clearly, she's never tapped a screen before. And she's like, I just tap what I want. It's like, Carrie.
I knew the minute she walked in, I was like, this isn't gonna go well. This is the woman who held onto her flip phone, which, like, honestly, respect, until, Big could pry it from her with his dead hands.
Yes, correct. There are little robots going around delivering food and beverages. Caroline, you live in LA, and I have been made aware that there are delivery robots in LA. Have you interacted with one?
Yeah, there was one the other week that, kept bumping at me because I was in its way on the sidewalk. It was trying to get to its location. I was like, I'm sorry I'm in your way, Mr. And they all have names and eyes. I've seen, Edna, because they want to humanize them, but they're all, 3 feet tall, and they're just, scooting around the streets of LA.
That is wild. And they're delivering people food? And coffee.
Delivering people food.
Carrie is sitting down. She's watching this little robot go by. She's clearly very charmed by it. And then after she manages to order, we get this little fellow sat down across from her. And she was like, what the heck is this? And the server is like, it's Tommy Tomato. You don't have to eat alone.
Well, as someone who's currently traveling alone, I felt very insulted. We don't need a Tommy Tomato. We're fine just by our own. Because it made me think of that episode. What is the one where Carrie does dine alone?
In
Sex and the City. She makes the big deal. She's like, I don't have a book with me. I'm just having dinner. I'm not doing an activity. I'm not making an excuse for dining alone.
Yeah, exactly.
And it feels like this is negating all of that, and it's just the restaurant's way of it's okay, you're alone.
I would definitely take a picture with Tommy Tomato and post something self-deprecating about having to eat with Tommy Tomato. Let's be honest. Moving on, we are back to the cursed editing bay that we will never, ever get out of. One of the couple versions of hell that Lisa constantly finds herself in, either her closet or the editing bay. And they have found out that Michelle Obama feels that she is too well known to be in an Unsung Heroes documentary series. Duh. But she is being sent the rough cut, and she would consider narrating the series. This was the point where I was like, okay, we're not getting a Michelle Obama cameo. We were duped. Not that they ever promised us one, but I don't know. I feel like we were flirting with the idea, and now definitely not.
I also did the math. They said, so it's been 6 months we've been hearing them edit this. They said they started in May, and it's Thanksgiving.
What
It's
is
been
this,
6
like a
months.
Marvel movie with CGI? And then we have a celebratory hug between LTW and Marion. Feelings have been getting very confusing between the two of these individuals. LTW pulls away and is like, we can't go out for a celebratory drink. We can't go out for a celebratory dinner. This just has to be about work. Just work. She's freaking out. And then Marion is like, I'm a good enough editor to know that the whatever this is scene can't go into our movie, which is just, this is so irritating because it's like, this is the finale of the season. Even if we didn't know that it was going to be the series finale, it's like,
right.
Nothing has happened between these two characters at all. There has been tension that has not been acted on, which is for the best, but tension that has not been acted on. And now we're just having like another ambiguous conversation about the fact that we're not going to act on the tension. Like, absolutely nothing has happened between these two the entire season, which is kind of speaks to my problem with the entire show, which is that they flirt that things are going to be problems, or they say explicitly that things are going to be problems, and then like 5 minutes later or the next episode, they're like, never mind, decided not to.
It's just so strange because we've not talked about this in episodes. Like, we've not even seen Marion since probably the Obama screening they went to when she walked past him. That was probably the last time we saw him. So it's just like, what was the point of this season with LGW? We had her dad die.
Again.
And that was wrapped up again. But allegedly, this was her biological dad. The first time was stepdad, is what they're saying now.
Who's saying?
Oh, you know the man.
It makes sense that that man does not live in reality, given the art that he has produced.
Considering what we've been watching.
Yes.
So it just feels, I don't know, it just feels disappointing, I think, for LTW in general. It's like, I would be bummed if I were Nicole Ari Parker, if I was like, this is the arc I have to go out on, like, where I feel like a nothing burger of, like, her marriage having problems. Okay, like, it's just, pick one thing, and maybe it could have been salvageable, but it's just kind of like, it just kept felt like they were throwing things at the wall.
It's extremely nothing burger, absolutely. And then we are back with Miranda and Steve having enchiladas. I felt so safe and so comforted by this image. And it also just made me really happy to see the vibes between Miranda and Steve have been repaired, it seems. Still friends, they're still co-parents. It makes sense that the two of them would still be able to have a relationship after like getting through everything.
I screamed his first line being, I shouldn't have blown up like that, screaming fuck and everything.
Yeah, I know. So Miranda expresses that she's afraid that Mia might be a dum-dum. We'll get into Mia later when she appears. I have no idea what their plan was for that character. Then Steve saying fuck a lot, saying that he's sorry about how he blew up at Brady and how he's gonna give him a call and be like, I love you. And then of course he's like, and I'm gonna tell him I'm sorry that you fucking fucked up your fucking life. I mean, I will say, like, look at the two of you guys. Like, there were plenty of times where you guys thought you fucked it all up and like, you're fine.
Right? Yeah.
I know that like a baby coming in, especially when your son is only like 20, it is a huge deal. But watching these two people who have been through so much together just like happily eat enchiladas and like figure it out. They're mom and dad. I just feel safe. I just feel like it's all gonna be okay.
Yeah. But I did also think, I was like, how has Miranda not been to therapy in all of this? She seems like the one who would be the most pro therapy, and it's like, you should be, for one, have gone to see a therapist after you realize you're queer.
Yeah.
Two, like, now we're going through this sort of transition. How has that not entered the conversation at all? Maybe it's part of this weird Miranda 3.0 where she thinks she can just meddle and everything, and she has the right to meddle and everything. So there's a little bit of that I was a little frustrated by in the scene. I was like, Miranda, like, how are you not seeing, like, that you're making things worse?
Yes. By
your own doing.
Yes, by like needling around where you have been explicitly asked not to. It's also a generational thing because then they go on to be like, we will not have a relationship with our grandson. And again, it's like, things do get complicated when a baby's in the picture, but if you remember, like, Mia wasn't planning on even telling Brady until she ran into him. So like,
right. I do feel like there's a little bit of, like, if I were Brady and my parents were doing this to me, I'd be like, okay, I get it. Like, this is a little like an invasion of privacy a tiny bit, like going that far with it.
Yeah. The other thing too is like you can try to instill stuff in your kids all you want, but at the end of the day, like they're gonna grow up and like do what they do and have to face the consequences. And
you can lead a penis to water, but you can't put a condom on it.
You cannot. You cannot. Well said. I've heard that ancient proverb before. And then we are back to butt headquarters, where Adam is constantly walking around naked. And while he is very loudly peeing in front of Seema, Seema mentions that she's going to a bridal fashion show. LTW mentioned in the previous couple scenes ago that like this was part of an agreement she struck with somebody she filmed with in DC. Was that she brings all of her fashionista friends to this bridal fashion show. So Seema mentioned she's going to the show, and then Adam, of course, pipes up and is like, marriage, so stupid. Do you want to get married? Yeah, let's get married. Let's sign a piece of paper. It's so fucking dumb. Here's the thing. I don't mind that he has that opinion, but to like just like say that while you're naked peeing in this woman's bathroom and she is...
I know.
Of a slightly different generation than you, and you are seriously dating her, and you have not had this conversation yet. Like, you can't bring it up that nonchalantly and with the attitude of, like, you get what I mean, right?
Right after the episode before where he said he loved her and he wanted her to meet his sister.
Yes.
Like... So it just felt like such a tonal shift for the character. After that, I was like, oh, I feel very good about Adam. This feels very earnest. I'm excited for what this is. But then, I don't know. It was like he went through a cave of men that think women are bad and that, you know, any sort of commitment is bad, and now we're on the other side.
Yeah, he did some meditating in that, like, dark underground cave that Aaron Rodgers goes to between NFL seasons and came out.
Joe Rogan radiating through his head.
It was just weird, because, like, we know that Adam is into alternative milks and alternative lifestyle. Then the girls are headed towards...
LTW gets to join.
Yes, there she is. She's part of the friend group. She is in the mix. The range of outfits here is really something. And LTW, of course, looking like she is, I don't know, some sort of like...
She's a PI.
Yeah.
Like a PI going to, like, got all the last fabrics in town, and she's like, I work in Queens.
This is Danny DeVito's reporter character in LA Confidential. This is who this outfit was meant for. That being said, of course, she looks amazing because she's gorgeous. Then they're at this giant, beautiful greenhouse that I'm assuming they just cleared all the plants out of for fashion. The girls spend the entire fashion show talking, which seems incredibly rude unless you've ever watched an episode of Real Housewives of New York where they spend the entire fashion show talking.
Correct. But I did feel like seeing them at a fashion show, it felt like nature was healing for me. Because it was like, oh, the girls are at a fashion show. I'm thrilled. This is like where they thrive. I'm happy to see them here.
It's true. There is also an insane instrumental cover of Secrets by One Republic playing during this fashion show.
Oh my God.
Tell me what you want from me. And then I can't sing more because we don't have the rights. But there was like a very like string heavy instrumental version of that playing. And it took me a while to place what it was. But I was like, what is this? But yeah, the girls are just using this opportunity to like catch up and chat. Seema mentions that Adam was literally pissing all over the idea of marriage. She asks Carrie why she got married. And then in another wild Carrie moment, she says it meant I was chosen, which, yes, definitely true, absolutely matches up with all of the context of what we've previously seen of Carrie. But also, as always with this particular season, she fails to mention, like, I also really loved Big.
Well, it felt weird when she was like, you were married. It felt like she was embarrassed to admit she had been married before. It was just very strange. And then, like, obviously this also calls back to her speech to the Russian after he hits her, and she's like, I choose love, unadulterated love, all-consuming.
Can't
you choose
live
me. Don't
without each other.
Without each other love.
Yeah.
But it's not here in this room in Paris.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh.
You can't start the quote without finishing.
No, I get it. It's a full monologue. It must be performed as it is written.
Thank you for your time.
Yes. Thank you. I hope I have passed the audition. Goodbye. Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, some of it, it's weird. Some of it is just, Carrie's in the back half of her 50s now, so seeing things with more clarity than she did when she was in her late 30s. I don't disagree with Carrie saying it meant I was chosen because, again, like, that was clearly very important to Carrie throughout the whole series.
Yeah.
But, yeah, once again, an opportunity where she could have said, like, also, I really love that guy, but fuck that guy. We don't care. He might as well not have existed.
I know. It's interesting. It's like, I get it that, like, that thought of it, but it's also, like, yeah, it negates all the love they had for each other. It just, I don't know. It's a very weird, it's sitting weird. A lot of Carrie this episode feels very, unfinished, which, like, allegedly, who's to say?
We'll get into that.
But, yeah, we'll get into that.
But then Seema makes the very wise statement of, like, is it even Adam's responsibility to, like, make me feel chosen? Isn't that my responsibility? And, like, I appreciated that statement because that's kind of, like, the big question of this whole episode and also kind of the big question of the whole series.
Yeah.
Is, like, is it another person's responsibility to make you feel whole? So while that question lingers in the air, we go over to the other two yapping gals. And LTW asks, if you knew then, when you were about to get married, what you know now about marriage, would you still get married? And I was like, this is a ridiculous question to ask Charlotte, because of course the answer is yes. Yeah. Charlotte says yes, and LTW also says yes. So they're having a little bitch sesh, but at the end of the day, they still love their husbands.
I did like the question she had, though. She was like, is it ever about us or is it always about them? Mm-hmm. That, like, whole part of the conversation, because I think that is something, I don't know if you, like, feel the same way. It's like being, like, a heterosexual woman in a relationship, and this, like, depending on the man, it's like, oh, how much of that, like, do I have to, sort of like with Seema, or not Seema, but, like, Anthony even, like, feeling like I have to be his mother. Mm-hmm. Like, where does that balance hit? And, like, and is it fluid? Like, mm-hmm. And what does that mean? But I think as women especially, we feel that, like, need to take care of our partners, and it can often be at the detriment of ourselves. So I don't know. I thought that was, like, an interesting part of the conversation that, like, I don't know, really resonated with me.
Yeah.
And I thought I loved hearing that part out loud.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that, that is a really, like, powerful thing to consider. Like, heterosexual women are just socialized to be constantly paying attention to what everybody in the room is, like, feeling. Is everyone comfortable? Does everyone have enough to eat? Does everyone, like, have a drink? Does everybody, like, so it's, it is a question to, like, ask yourself. And, like, a lot of, the thing about Sex and the City in general, like, all parts of the canon, is that as someone who sort of came of age while watching all of this media, this show actually sort of helped me parse those things out. Like, not that it's, like, a great touchstone for reality, but I would say that, like, there have been many moments in my young adulthood where I've been like, is this what I want, or is this what society has programmed me to want? Or, like... And
I also love that LTW mentioned the election, and Charlotte does not respond.
No, because nobody voted.
The election did not happen.
Nobody voted. Not a single person has said, by the way, like, on the day of the election, I made sure to go vote for Herbert. Like, even, like Principal Peterson says he tried to get the vote out. Store brand Brandy Carlisle says that she like donated money, but not a single person had an I voted sticker or said, like, hey, nice to see you today, Lisa. I voted today for
I'm so sorry about the election. Like, nothing.
Everybody's sick of his shit. Everybody's over it. Then we get a classic Charlotte-Carrie walk and talk where, of course, Carrie immediately drops the bomb, I may be alone for the rest of my life, which, you know, sends Charlotte into a tailspin. She says, like, maybe it's time for me to start accepting that it's just me. And she doesn't seem sad about this. I think Charlotte interprets it as sad, but she seems...
Sure.
Here's the thing. I think that it's healthy to live in reality, obviously. And it seems like in this moment, Carrie isn't like wallowing and like asking for like validation of like, no, you're not going to be alone. Like, it seems like she's trying to voice out loud, like, I really am trying to come to terms with this. Obviously, I won't seek help from a professional therapist about it, but I am trying to come to terms with this.
I thought this was so interesting. I was like, man, I wish this is what we could have spent the whole season exploring. Because I think this was like the most interesting, I think, Carrie has been this entire season. And of course, it's in the alleged series finale. And I will be saying alleged a lot this episode.
Yeah, that's, I mean, legally, that's the best way to say it.
If I've learned anything from Housewives University, alleged is your best friend. And I like that it just shows that Carrie is opening herself up a bit to this possibility of, like, it's okay for that piece of you, because like I do, like there are so many people, like I couldn't imagine Charlotte like this, like she was always going to be in a couple, and I think it's hard to, like, I know we probably both do, like, have so many friends in our lives who've never spent any time alone, and I think to so many people it's terrifying. It's this whole like horrifying existence when it's really like not that bad. You just gotta like step out of yourself a little bit and realize that like being alone is okay. Who is Carrie without a Big, without an Aiden, without any of these other men, a Duncan? Like, who is she?
And without just, like, the overall idea of the possibility of them. I agree. It would have been nice to see more of that this season. Now we are back to LTW and Herbert. LTW comes back from the fashion show, and it has inspired her to do a weird little bedside vow renewal with Herbert. I mean, I did think this was sweet. I will say, like, I think in this instance it was Herbert's responsibility to be the person to initiate this kind of interaction, because he's been the one who's been moping around and just like dragging his sad ass around the apartment and being kind of rude to Lisa. That being said, I did appreciate this moment. I thought it was sweet, and I did appreciate that Herbert recognized this moment for what it was and was like, I am going to like buck up eventually.
I would appreciate it this 3 episodes ago. Who am I to say? I'm never going to side with a man. You won't catch me siding with a man today. You won't catch me siding with a man tomorrow. Not next week, not next year, not next decade.
So yeah, Herbert says that he'll get over this. Thank God. Thank God. And,
until the next one.
Yeah, until the next disappointment, where he'll have to take to his bed for several days. Adam is back in the garden. Did he not just finish the garden? What is he doing? Why is he back here?
I know, and we find out it's on Thanksgiving morning.
Yeah.
Like, why are you in the garden on Thanksgiving morning?
Carrie is yet again in another outfit that needs to be held.
I want it. I want it.
I know. It looks comfortable, but she's in yet again another outfit where she needs to carry it in order for it herself not to trip over it, which has been a real theme this season. I don't know if they're trying to tell us something. I mean, I guess that's kind of a rich metaphor of like men that you have to hold in order for them not to make you stumble in your own life. I don't know.
Now she's carrying the weight of her own problems.
Correct. She's carrying the weight of her own seemingly very expensive, thick cotton flannel fabric. Carrie mentions, like, you're out here on Thanksgiving morning, and he's like, just a Thursday. And she was like, oh, right, you're anti-tradition. And Adam's like, aha, your close friend has been talking to you about her relationship with me. And Carrie's like, I do have just one question. Is Seema just a Thursday? Or should we have... I know. I was like, okay, Carrie. Okay, somebody's a writer. And Adam responds, no, like, she's much more special than that. She's a lifetime. Which I think is very sweet, and I think clearly was enough information for Carrie to confirm, like, okay, the man doesn't like tradition, but that doesn't mean that he cannot recognize when there is something special in front of him. And then Harry...
Oh, God.
We're back at York and Blatt headquarters, and Charlotte is in the middle of basting the turkey, and Harry is like, oh my God, I have an erection. And Charlotte's like, why? For what reason? And he was like, I don't know, but let's just celebrate it and like honor it and like head to the bedroom. And then I had to just get a quick final shot of Mr. Burton with his little cheeseburger.
Do you have a screenshot of Lily's face in the next moment?
I sure do. Okay, this... You go first. You go first.
Okay, I understand. It's great when your parents have a healthy sex life. We want that.
Sure.
We cherish that.
Sure.
Like, we love that. But, to be standing in the dining room and, like, have your parents openly tell you that they're about to go have sex, and then you're just sitting there like, oh, shucks. Like,
I know.
Has the whole York Goldenblatt family now been made aware of, like, the boner issues? Is there, like, a giant clock in Times Square that's been projecting to everyone in New York, telling them, Harry Goldenblatt is 0 days without a boner, and now it's, like, gone to 1, and everyone is cheering, and in NASDAQ headquarters, like, all the trades are up, Harry's got a boner.
Yeah.
Like,
He's gonna go ring the bell by pressing the button with his hard dick. I know. I had the same exact reaction because here's the thing. Yes, it is theoretically, in theory, great if you have parents that love each other and have a healthy sex life. I still don't even want to think about the fact that I came from my parents having sex.
Yeah!
So they knew that we needed to see Jackie Hoffman once more. Carrie heads to the pie place to pick up her pies, and Jackie Hoffman gets an iconic moment of being like, I'm so fucking exhausted. I loved it.
I know, and then, like, Carrie's outfit here.
Oh, boy.
It looks like, you know, your, like, senior dance recital?
Yes.
And you get to wear the shiniest, like, outfit. She's getting to be Clara in the Nutcracker, like, kind of moment.
Also, that headpiece is something you put on a baby for a photo shoot, and they yank it off.
It's an Ann Getty's, for sure. Like, that baby was, like, stuffed inside a strawberry. Yeah. There's, like, a little top that goes on top of it.
Yes, that's the top of the strawberry. 100,000%. Yes. And then Carrie goes on a fun little montage of delivering pies to everybody since everybody is no longer coming to Miranda's Thanksgiving party, and we get this fun shot of Seema getting into her car, and Carrie's like, you're wearing jeans? And Seema's like, when in Rome. I don't know, fun little moment of Seema being like, all right, I'll meet Adam where he's at, and I know this is going to be a casual Thursday family experience.
Much like Carrie putting on the tennis shoes at the baby shower.
Yes, and like, the thing is, putting on a pair of jeans in my life is a big deal, but in the opposite direction of like, oh, she got dressed up today. We're not wearing soft pants. And then we head to Miranda's, where Miranda is very distressed because Joy has also canceled on Thanksgiving because her dog is sick. At Carrie's urging, Miranda calls Joy to see if the dog excuse is real or if maybe Joy is having some like weird family stuff that she doesn't want to be around for. But Sappho did indeed swallow something sharp, so Miranda is gonna head over to the clinic to be with Joy. Carrie and Brady's dynamic as like Aunt Carrie and Brady in this episode was like really charming, and I just loved it. And then...
I know, it's like they're about to get Mamma Mia,
yes.
And then here we go.
Here we go again. And then Mia and her crew show up, and I have a lot to say about this, but the main thing I want to say is, Michael Patrick King, why do you hate young people so much?
What did they do to you?
The depiction of these characters is like, I'm just gonna say it, it's offensive.
Yeah, they're cartoons.
Yeah.
These aren't humans.
And then this ridiculous moment where Mia is entering a Thanksgiving dinner and is like, oh, by the way, I only eat cucumber, brown rice, and seaweed.
Okay, so not to defend Mia, but I did have a thought, and she said a line later. I was like, did he not ask about dietary restrictions?
Oh, well.
As someone with a food allergy, I was like, did he not ask?
Yeah, that is fair. Yes, that is fair.
And she is like 7 months pregnant, so she might be like at a point where it's like, this food makes me, like, these are the only foods that don't make me nauseous right now kind of phase. Like,
I mean, it doesn't surprise me that Brady didn't ask because Brady didn't want Mia there to begin with. There's a knock at the door, and who else but Mark Kasabian walks in.
Yeah. Sure.
Why not? Yeah, why not? This is definitely a character that I was like, we haven't gotten enough. Like, get one last Mark Kasabian moment in. Silvio says, Mia girl, Mr. Man here is giving Mayor of Whoville vibes.
Which, that makes me wonder, I was like, were they in Seussical? Because I played the mayor's wife.
Oh my God, of course you did. Although I believe you're more of a Maisie, in my opinion. That
is one of the kindest things you could ever say to me.
I could absolutely see you, like, killing.
And you'd be a good Gertrude.
Oh, thank you. God. This is pure.
Give us the funding. Who wants to give us the production of Seussical?
I take back what I said at the top of the episode. We will not be doing any more TV recaps. We are going to do a scene-by-scene series of a 2-person Seussical the musical. If that's not what you're into, then get out.
Sorry
about it. So Miranda goes to the clinic to be with Joy, and Joy is just beside herself, but of course they made her sign some forms that, like, if anything happens, they're not responsible. And ever the lawyer and ever the mother, Miranda is like, that's just, like, legal stuff, don't worry about it, baby.
I also had a question. Was this the vet that Che worked at last season?
I also had the same question, and I did go back and look, and I don't think that it is.
Okay, because I immediately was like, is Che about to walk out right now?
Oh my God.
Like, this would be the most chaotic thing in the world, and I would welcome it. Che is holding Sappho. Che delivers Sappho to
That
Joy.
would honestly, I wish that would have happened, but they might have asked, and Sarah Ramirez was like, absolutely not. I will not be Che Diaz again.
No.
Do you know what kind of heat I took as Che Diaz? But I did have the same thought. Again, have the same poisoned brain. I did go look. And then we are back at the most awkward and upsetting Thanksgiving celebration of all time. Mark knows that he is not a desirable date for Carrie and is playing up his house in the Hamptons. Solid move, man. As we talked about Dr. Bradley Migo when we were doing our tier list of Carrie's significant others, a house in the Hamptons will get you pretty far.
I will say, though, I'm like, Carrie's rich enough to buy her own house in the Hamptons.
She sure is.
I would like to see that.
That is
like,
really...
I want her side by side with Diane Keaton and Something's Gotta Give.
Oh my God. What a missed opportunity. Charlotte shows up with her stuffing and is like, guess what? A Thanksgiving miracle occurred and Harry got hard. And Carrie's like, I don't have time for your bullshit. I need to be mad at you that you are trying to set me up with Mark Kasabian. And then this was very funny. Charlotte was like, I know he's been married 3 times and I know that, like, you don't like him, but he has a plane. I don't know if having a plane is really a selling point at this point.
Carrie doesn't really leave Manhattan.
She does not.
Except to go to Virginia. She goes to Virginia, the Hamptons, and that one country house in Paris. Those are the 4 locations Carrie goes to.
Yes.
Sometimes Staten Island.
Yes. And I sometimes Staten Island. Yeah. Does Mark Kasabian have a ferry or a very fast Amtrak?
Colin Jost does.
He owns the Staten Island ferry.
He and Pete Davidson, they bought the Staten Island ferry.
Are you dead serious? Oh my
I'm dead serious. This happened like 2 years ago. But they it's not in I don't think it's where you can write it yet. I think they've got to do work on it, but they bought the Staten Island ferry.
And then we're back in the living room where Silvio has turned on some music and is voguing around in a full denim outfit. I truly don't know what we're trying to do with Mia here because I
don't either.
Everything about her is just upsetting and the stakes just keep getting higher because she is ever closer to having Brady's child. And this is one of the main reasons why I'm like, they could not have possibly been planning to end the series here, because...
No way.
What was your plan? Was your plan that, like, the baby would be born and it would be obviously not Brady's, so that's a relief? Or, like, she ends up being, like, a really great mother? Like, what's the plan here? Because, like, it's just making me nervous.
Like, is Miranda just gonna take care of the baby? Like, what's the end game?
I don't know. Like, I don't understand all of these, like, it's not, like, it's kind of not funny to, like, have this character be joking about, like, what a terrible, scary mother she's going to be.
When she's eating the cheeses, I was looking at them, I was like, most of those are unpasteurized, and I'm pretty certain you can't eat those when you're pregnant.
Well...
Like, you can't eat brie. Yeah.
Yeah, I doubt that she has been keeping up with not eating deli meats or drinking coffee or whatever. I mean, but also a shout out. We mentioned that this is Ella Stiller, but we did not mention that makes her is it Ann Mira? Ann Miara?
Ann Mira and Jerry Stiller's granddaughter, and Miranda Steve Brady's mother.
Yes, so that is a fun, sweet little connection there, despite this being not a fun or sweet situation. Brady announces that the turkey is raw because he left to get seaweed and stuff for Mia. Brady gets upset because he's like, Mia, you're eating cheese when I just went to Chinatown on Thanksgiving to get you food. And she's like, nobody asked you to do that. Again, I don't know why we're making this character so deeply unlikable. It just, I don't see what the point is. Dinner is over, everybody dined and dashed, and Carrie and Miranda are sitting down while Mark is using the restroom. And Carrie is very upset because she knows that when Mark gets out of the bathroom, he's gonna want to, like, take her home, and she's gonna feel like she has to say yes because he just endured this insane event. Little does she know that in the bathroom... First of all, I don't know why one of the things that we had to see is Mark Kasabian's urine stream. Like, why was that necessary? Also on the list of completely unnecessary things is the toilet exploding. It felt like lazy scatological humor to me, personally. Yeah. I did not get a picture of the worst of it because I...
Thank you.
...can't... I could barely handle watching it.
And we'll talk about what NPK had to say about it in a second. Because it was about as illogical as this entire toilet overflowing.
Yes. And Mark comes out, and the toilet is beyond the point of fixing. And so he has to admit that it overflowed, but it's not his fault because he doesn't have a problem with French cheese. And then Joy shows up. And this was sweet, and she was like, am I too late for pie? Carrie invites her in. I took this screenshot just to emphasize the fact that Miranda on her desk has a framed picture of Eleanor Roosevelt. So the fact that she only just in the last 2 years realized that she's queer is insane, because I have to assume this is not a recent piece of ephemera in her apartment. I almost missed it, but you, Caroline, have trained me to look at the details, and I was like, I'm sorry.
Look at the details.
I'm sorry, is that a framed photograph of Eleanor Roosevelt?
Now I'm questioning underneath, is that a framed picture of Amelia Earhart? Because you know they were rumored to be lesbian lovers.
They sure were. Perhaps. I don't know. HBO's streaming seemed like everybody was watching this finale at the same time, so I couldn't really get the least blurry screenshots. And then Joy is like, I showed up because you spent the holiday with my family, so I can spend it with yours, which is very sweet, except for they have this loving embrace while Miranda's still wearing dirty, wet toilet gloves.
I know, Joy doesn't know. She doesn't know. We don't need to tell her.
She doesn't know. And then Carrie returns home, and we see a moment of her about to take off her shoes, and she decides, no, Duncan's not here. I'm on my own. I can leave my shoes on. She heads over to the karaoke machine that she was planning on giving back to Miranda and puts on You're the First, the Last, My Everything. And we know as soon as the opening strains of that song happen that we're about to get a closing montage, much like we got in the ending of the first series. We revisit ever so briefly Anthony and Giuseppe, where the main issue was that Giuseppe had proposed and Anthony was like, I don't want to mommy him. And then in just one solid slapstick pie moment, it all gets resolved. Then we go to the York and Blatz, where Rock requests to see the picture that Charlotte took of the musical. And Charlotte's like, I didn't save it. I didn't think you would want me to see you that way. And Rock's like, I'm going to be a lot of people in my life. It's cool. And then we get this very sweet moment of the four of them all together. We do like to see a functional, healthy family on this show, so, like, good for them. LTW and Herbert resolve because Herbert's like, hey, you cooked all day. You can go put your feet up. I'll clean the dishes.
I had the thought, I was like, when did she have time to make Thanksgiving?
No idea. No idea.
How does she do it? Starring Sarah Jessica Parker from, I think, 2003.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll watch that next.
Maybe, yeah, that's next. After Seussical. We gotta do Seussical first.
Yeah.
So yeah, Herbert's stepping up to do some dishes, possibly for the first time ever. Carrie is at the counter doing her secret single behavior of, like, digging right into the pie, just with a spoon, dancing around, enjoying life. I did have a moment where she was dancing around in the kitchen where there was a shot, like, through the terrace window where I was like, oh my God, is Duncan gonna come up the stairs? He didn't, obviously.
Oh. See, and I was concerned the entire time. I was like, is Carrie about to break into song? I really had this moment. I was like, are we about to have a Glee moment? I was like, I don't need Carrie to sing. Please don't make her sing. Please.
Don't make her sing.
Please.
Well, she did sing a little bit, but not.
But not like. Yeah.
Not a full song. We visit Adam and his mother plant and his family. Seema's like, I don't even miss the gluten. It's a lie. It's a lie. I've had gluten-free dessert. It's a lie.
Yeah, it's for sure. And also, we never met the sister after all
that. No, we just sort of see her in the scene, but we don't even know which person she is in the scene. Joy and Miranda, two lesbians eating a pie, loving life, having fun. Mm-hmm. And we are back to Carrie at her desk through the window, and she decides to change the epilogue. The woman realized she was not alone. She was on her own. Now, I had a real big issue with this because I was like, this is how you're ending it? She was not alone. Alone and on your own are the same thing. That isn't as profound as you think it is. I guess.
No, and I was relieved they didn't use the on my own needle drop.
Oh my God.
On my own.
Well, I was thinking because they clearly have Taylor money that they were going to do You're on Your Own, Kid. Can you believe I pulled that out, Caroline?
Oh my God, and that's a track 5 too.
I didn't know that. I'm just
Wow, I'm so proud of you.
You're rubbing off on me. But yeah, I was like, this isn't good writing. This isn't as profound as you think it is. There isn't really that much more meaning in.
It's not saying anything.
But then you gotta love Carrie dancing around her apartment in her weird little recital performance outfit to an incredible song. You're the First, You're the Last, My Everything. It's a great song. She's dancing around. She's loving life on her own. And then as the credits roll, we get the original Sex and the City theme, which
I was fuming. Why?
It made me emotional. Why were you fuming?
It rubbed salt in the wound. You're like, after that, you have the audacity to play the original theme song.
Yeah, fair enough.
After the last 30 minutes we sat through that, you are not going to get any tears out of the nostalgia out of me after that. No way, no sir, no how. That's not happening today.
Fair enough.
You didn't earn it. You did not earn it.
It was not earned. I mean, overall, even as a season finale, it was, like, really weak. It was a big old go girl, give us nothing. Like,
Yeah.
Nothing happened. Things that, like, we really needed clarity on, like Mia and Brady and the baby, we got absolutely no clarity on. Carrie seems happy by herself, but, like, it doesn't really feel earned. Like, the jump from, like, her kind of despondent walk with Charlotte, where she thinks she's going to be alone, to her, like, dancing around, digging into the middle of a pie. Like, it just...
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, we had even less time per episode in the original series, I feel like, and they still were able to make these things feel much more earned. On the note of things ending, Caroline and I have, I don't know if it's a eulogy per se, but we have statements that we'd like to read. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Sure, I can go. If I get through this without crying, this will be crazy. I think why I'm so upset about the finale of And Just Like That is because of how much Sex and the City opened the world for me. See, I'm already crying. It gave me permission to leave my hometown and move to Chicago on my own at 22 and figure out who I was. To find my chosen family, it gave me permission to feel okay to not settle down at 25 and have kids, that my version of my future was just as valid without the normal heterosexual parameters. It showed me that my friendships can be my soulmates, many of the most intimate relationships of my life, and to cherish every bit of that. That being you was fabulous. Aww. That there is joy in the insanity of dating and putting yourself out there in the hope of maybe finding love, or at least a good story to tell over brunch with your girlfriends. This is a relationship we all hope and aspire for. Carrie, Miranda, Charlotte, and Samantha were a perfect square of everything I hope to find in a friend group, and a reminder of how friendship can be everything when your world is falling apart. There is an episode that I can go back to for every season of my life and every change that I choose to make. Carrie was my North Star, a reminder of what hope looks like and that you don't need a man to be so fabulous on your own. Yes, she was infuriating, but she's flawed like we all are. This show has been a part of my life since I was 14 to 15. It's pushed me to be bigger and bolder, but most importantly, it pushed me to be more of myself, and this woman will be forever grateful for that.
Oh, that was amazing. Oh my God, I'm getting choked up. Much like Von Weasel in the bedroom, the end of And Just Like That came suddenly and too soon. In all honesty, I thought we'd be saying goodbye to AJLT a lot sooner, given how many times Miranda called Che's stand-up shows comedy concerts during season 1.
For sure.
When the original Sex and the City series ended in 2004, I was 15 years old and had spent countless afternoons watching episodes on demand on the couch, blissfully having the house entirely to myself as my sister was away at college and my parents were still at work. My parents were early adopters of HBO on demand because they wanted to watch Real Time with Bill Maher, but we don't have time to talk about that right now. At 15, I had very little experience with dating, and it would be another several years before I had any experience with sex. But I was hooked on the comfort those seemingly endless 6 seasons on demand provided. I watched them over and over and over again, memorizing whole scenes and daydreaming about a time when I, too, would be a woman with friends in a major city. Sex and the City made me laugh. It made me cry. It made me horny. It made me get a keychain from Claire's that said, "I'm a Miranda." It made me write in my high school diary as if I were Carrie Bradshaw, filling notebook pages with the cringiest attempts at Carrie's witty and introspective voice. It made me expect too much emotionally from boys whose frontal lobes were not yet developed, but it also made me parse out my feelings about said boys in writing or with my friends. Was it mentally healthy for a teenage girl to absorb this much from a group of fictional 30-something women as written by a 40-something Michael Patrick King? Certainly not, but what can I say? A bitch contains multitudes. And Just Like That did not give me as much as the original series did, but it did give me a chance to spend a little more time with a few of the beloved characters who, for better or worse, still feel like old friends, and for that I will always be grateful. And Dr. Nia Wallace, wherever you are, I hope you and Toussaint are eating nonstop chocolate soufflés in between nonstop fucking.
Preach. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, I love these girls.
I like that you and
I love that.
I know. I like that you and I both ended our statements with, "We'll be forever grateful." Oh, boy. Caroline did some additional dramaturgical research because we're really not convinced that, though they are really trying to play this off as if it was the purposeful series finale, we don't think that it was ever intended to be. So, Caroline, take it away.
Michael Patrick King did do an interview with Deadline probably before the finale, but they posted it after it aired. He keeps saying this was the planned finale. I'm going to read you what he said about is this the ending, his response to the question of, is this the ending you wanted? And maybe I'll let you leave it up to interpretation of how you feel about it. Yes, I would have stopped. The ending told us to stop when we were writing, and that sentence, the woman realized she was not alone, she was on her own. It was so important for me to hear, and it just sort of appeared. I was like, well, that's the ending. Especially since the response and a callback to Carrie at the end of Sex and the City when she says, the most significant relationship of all is the one you have with yourself. And then if you find someone to love you, that's fabulous.
Yeah, that quote was amazing.
Yeah.
That quote I wrote.
It was incredible.
I wrote it in the back of my high school diary. That was much better than the woman was on her own.
Oh,
whatever.
She's saying that voiceover while Mr. Big is calling to say, I'm coming to town. So the growth and the evolution and the resonance of her saying a new version of that when maybe no one is coming is the most significant addition we could add to this whole Carrie Bradshaw universe. I knew then that I wanted her to stop there because I believe that's her message to everyone who's been watching for many, many years. It's for the women who have someone or the people who have someone. More importantly, it's for the people who don't have someone. If you can feel good about the life you create, it's great.
I mean, I don't disagree with the sentiment. I do think that in any version of the ending of the entire Sex and the City canon, having Carrie be on her own is the most powerful choice. Like, I've thought about this many times. It does make sense that Carrie on her own and celebrating that would make the most sense. I just feel like there were so many, distractions from that this season. Like you said, it would have been much more rich for her to explore that for more than
15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Yeah.
If you continue reading the interview, one, he says the poop scene is a reflection of the relationship shit that Carrie goes through.
Oh my God.
And then also says, this is exactly where I want all the characters to end. They're in a good place. I recommend it. I don't know it'll make you feel better, but it's worth a perusal.
Look, the little I know about, well, not little I know, I guess I know a lot about Michael Patrick King since I've effectively been reading his diary for the last 3 decades of my life.
I know.
But the man is not super well in touch with reality, so all of this tracks, even though I just don't believe it. This is the end of the road for Sex and the City, but it is not the end of the road for us. We will continue doing individual recaps of certain episodes from the original series with friends of ours that we bring on as guests. Like we said at the top, we are going to be reviewing The Girlfriend.
The Girlfriend.
So get ready to watch that or read the book. We are going to attempt to read the book before we start. And we're going to do Love is Blind, and then we'll do something else after that. If you've enjoyed hanging out with us, we've enjoyed hanging out with you, and we will still be here because we love to yap, and you're not going to stop us from yapping.
No, camera or no camera.
Seriously. Yeah. Caroline and I are yap. It's like a 24-hour yap. You're just getting 45 minutes of it at a time. All right, that was it. Please leave us in the comments what you thought about the quote-unquote series finale. We love you all, and we'll see you soon.